little bit. We teachers don't earn a lot of money. We have to get some extra money on the side. So, yeah? 1 million lira. I will make everybody here more creative for 1 million lira. Any takers? No, Jimmy Modular. Okay, 250,000 lira. This could get me a house in Hakai, maybe. Yeah? No? It's too expensive? Okay, I'll bring it down. 100 lira. Oh, the 100 lira is nothing. You go for a meal and a few drinks. That's... okay, come on. 5 lira. My last offer. 5 lira? Will you bet me 5 lira?
Yes.
Did you put your hand up, yeah? No, no. 1 lira. 1 lira. Everybody in this room, 1 lira. Yes? If I make you more creative, you will pay me 1 lira. No credit cards, no checks. I want real cash money in my hand. Done? Okay, alright. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to give you 4 objects. I want you to choose 1 object. Have a look at the screen. Choose it. Now. A, bicycle pump. B, paperclip. C, my wife's stockings. They're clean. D, a frying pan. Choose 1 object, put it in your head. Okay? Everybody chosen 1 object? Come on. Okay. Now take a piece of paper and draw a little box like this. If you haven't got some paper, steal some from your friend. Okay, everybody got it? Yeah? Okay. Right. What I'd like you to do, in the top box, the very top box, write the purpose of your object in the top box. Your actual purpose. What is the purpose of your object? Write it in. Okay? Ready? Alright. In this column, I want you to write down as many different purposes as you can. 1 minute, go! Alright. Count how many you had. Just have a quick count. Write the number down here. Write the number down here. 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Write the number. Okay, you ready? Okay. Did anybody get more than 15? 10? Alright, now, we're going to go on to the next stage. What I'm going to do, I am going to give you some clues to make you think. And then, in this column, I want you to write down the purpose that comes into your head. Okay? All right. Think about your object still. Okay? Make your object 5,000 times bigger. What can you use it for now? Right. Make your object really, really big. What can you use it for now? Maybe you chose the frying pan. You can use it as a boat. Okay, ready? Next one. Come on, we've got to go quick. Imagine your object can imitate another object. It can imitate another object. Write it down. What could it pretend to be? How could it do a quick ooch-cart with somebody else? Okay, write it down. Got one? A paperclip as a weapon, for example. Next one. Another one. Change the color of your object. Imagine a different color. Write it down. Okay, next one. Think about your object from somebody else's perspective. What could your dog use it for? What could your child use it for? What could your grandmother use it for? Somebody else would use it in a different way. Okay? Your object is beautiful. It symbolizes beauty and success. What could you use it for now? Write a new purpose down. Your bicycle pump is a pair of earrings. Use it for something. Another one. Use your object to make other shapes. If you have your stockings, you can fill them with sand and beat your husband with them. Okay, write it down. Another one. Think of the opposite of your object. What is the opposite of your object? What is the purpose? What's the reverse? You have a bicycle pump for blowing up your things, but you have a bicycle pump for sucking out your fat from your belly. Putting in, taking out. Efteki section yani. It's cheap. Okay, another one. If your object could come to life, what purpose would it have? Write down your purpose. How could it help us? What could it do for us? Okay. Imagine your object had an emotional life. It had a personality. How could it help you? Your paperclip becomes a psychiatrist to help you solve your problems. How could it help you? How could it help others? Okay, stop there. All right. Remember the first column of ideas? How many ideas did you have in that first column? 4, 5, 6, 7. How many ideas did you have in the second column? 11. Oh, Nikki, 8. Add the first column to the second column. 30. 13. Okay. Did I make you more creative? Paramisteri. There. I'm not sure. Lock the door. Thank you, Moja. Yes. I'm not sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you. Any punishment. I'm not a proud man. I'm not taking plastic. How about your father? Oh, I have no change. All right, okay, good. All right. Şuradan bir örnek var. Ya şunu versene. Tamam. Nereye gidiyorsun? Öğrenci mi? All right, okay. Okay, can you see that? That was one of the little activities that those children did. The children did this activity, and those young children consistently scored high grades on this, far higher than the adults. When they looked at it, I mean, I cheated a little bit, of course, yeah? But if you do that activity in 1 minute, the scores that come up, 4 to 5 is the average. If you get 4 to 5, you're pretty average. That's okay. Yeah? Yeah? If you've got 8 to 9, you're a good brainstormer. Yeah? You're pretty good. 11 to 13 is quite rare. Not many people can get higher than that. If you get 16, okay. That is Leonardo DiCaprio level. Yeah? That is the same one. And that's where most children are there. Yeah? So you can see that whole point. You can see that whole point of those things coming through. So thinking differently, thinking unusually, taking those risks is the thing that can really help us make a bigger difference. Yeah? Okay. Could you use that activity with your students? Definitely. It's the easiest thing to do. If you want, like I said, send me an email. I'll send you a copy of this. Yeah? I'll send you a copy you can use. But what I would like is, I'd like to see how you change it. So if you change it, send me a copy back. Yeah? That's the idea. Okay. And you can put the check in the mail. Yeah? But I think that's the thing. It's a very simple idea, but you can change it to meet your students' needs. Maybe some of the vocabulary doesn't work, or one of the ideas doesn't work. And we can do that in the same way.
And you may be the richest person in the world.
Yeah, look, she's asking for an interview. Okay, but that's the idea. That's how we get more creative. We take a simple idea, we adapt it, we improve it, we make it better. Even better, ask your students what kind of ideas this gives them as well. And you can build those activities into the classroom. Student creativity is a great way to motivate them as well. So we're using their ideas at the same time. Okay. Good. I started with this. And now I'm going to get a little bit serious. I've got my money now, so I can run. A little bit serious, yeah? I mean, we started with this idea here, and I think this is very true. But I think as teachers, we've got to look at why this is a little bit more. Yeah? Now, I think last time when I came, I hinted at some of these things that we see in our classrooms. Yeah? One of the things that we often see are things that we call the twin sins. Now, you'll probably notice these in the classroom. As teachers, sometimes, when the curriculum is too heavy, when it's too big, we start to get into activity-focused teaching. Activity 1, Activity 2, Activity 3, in the book. Yeah? What happens when we start just to use the book and just to use the activities? The creativity goes out of the window. Yeah? So we're trying to finish as much as we can. The same with this one, coverage-focused teaching. I have to cover simple present. I have to cover present continuous. I have to, and we become like a factory worker. Like we're working in McDonald's. I'll have a hamburger here, I'll have a hamburger here. And they're some of the biggest problems that we have. Yeah? Most teachers will say, yes, when I get busy, this is what happens. We have to fight that. We do have to fight that. Because as soon as we start to go down that road, that's when we start to kill our students. Yeah? That's when our lessons just become grammar nuggets. Yeah? Here's a hamburger, here's some nuggets, here's some nuggets, here's some nuggets. And that is exactly the thing. In language teaching, that's what takes away the creativity from language learning. So again, we teachers do that. The big one, instructional techniques that we use, PPP. Everybody knows it. What's the first P? Present. What's the second one? Practice. What's the third one? Produce. Yeah? Oh, perfect way to do it. Especially when you're a young teacher. We're told, do this because it's safe. Too much of this, if it's always the same, the creativity goes. Yeah? All the research shows us that students do not learn from fill in the gaps. They don't learn to communicate by doing fill in the gap activities. But in every textbook we have, how many fill the gap activities do we have? Hundreds of them. Yeah? Do we do them? Yeah, they're easy. Woo! Teacher for every answer, no problem. We're spending more time filling the gaps than talking about grammar, talking about problems. And that's what stops the learning and stops the creativity. It doesn't work. And that's the whole point. Yeah? We've got to be honest with ourselves. We really have to be honest with ourselves. We have to look at what we are doing. Remember what I told you about touching our students? So true. If we're touching them in the wrong way, Allah, we'll get arrested. No. We won't be producing the students that we want. Yeah? Remember last time I came, I talked to you about the Lise-Besch syndrome. Do you remember that? I said in Hazlitt now, all of our students have this illness, this disease called Lise-Besch syndrome. Yeah? And I said we have a problem. We also have another problem, but this time it's a teacher disease. And the teacher disease is this one. This is the language teacher's version of AIDS. Trust me, don't worry, it's not that bad. OGS. Obsessive Grammar Syndrome. It's so true. It's two sides of the same coin. And it's that OGS that, in my opinion, causes the Lise-Besch syndrome. Students see these things in primary school. They see these things in middle school. They see the same things in high school. They come to Hazlitt at university level, they see the same things. What do? They go to Gezi Park. They protest. They don't want to learn anymore. And it's our job to help make them want to learn more. So those two illnesses are quite important. Yeah? I sell these t-shirts outside Metro and Bilken every time I come. I make more money than this. It's easy. This is the thing that's important. These students are our students. They're our children. Yeah? And we know they've had problems from school. Yeah? And it's our job not to give them more problems, it's our job to take those problems away so that they start to love those things. That's the big part of teaching. It's not about teaching grammar and writing. It's about helping the students love something that is wonderful. That's basically how it goes. Yeah? This one's so true. This was written 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. This was the year I started to teach. You're supposed to say, Tony, get you stand your sons. But it's still true. We've had that same issue coming through. But all of us will look at this picture and go, oh, yes. This is the thing that makes us feel good as teachers. Yeah? Shouldn't students have the same picture in their head about language? They should. Yeah? So that's why I think we have got to be asking tough questions. We can't get the answers from somebody else. We can get the answers by asking tough questions ourselves. All right, I'd like you to get together with your group of 3 again. I'm going to give you 2 questions, and I'd like you to ask them, ask and answer, very honestly. And I would like you to say, is there a relationship between these 2 questions? Okay? Answer them both, and then, is there a relationship between those 2 questions? Go. I'm not saying teachers are doing a bad job. Most teachers do a very good job in a very difficult situation. But for me, I don't think we have to worry about the good things that we're doing. We have to look at the ways we can improve the things that can get better. That's why, for me, every teacher in teachers' meetings in school should be asking questions like this. Because when teachers ask these questions, they start to come up with answers, they start to come up with ideas that they can work with. Often when we go to a school, we just have boring administrative meetings. Whereas really, teachers should have meetings where they're answering these questions together so that they come up with projects, they come up with ideas to help their students. So if you're a new teacher, when you go into school next year, tell your principal you don't want boring administration meetings. You want important conversations about questions like this. If they fire you, come and see me, I'll give you a job. Yeah? But, is there a link between these two, do you think? I think there is. And it's talking about it where we can see those connections. If we're honest, yeah? We can be honest about the good things, but we also have to be honest about some of the things that are not so good. Because that's where we can improve. Yeah? That's what I was saying about this one. We can look at ideas from Albert Einstein and Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs! You can look, but the most important creativity is looking at our experience, because that's what's important. You can't change the world, but you can change your class. You can improve your class. That's important. I love this one. It's so true. Even for us as teachers, we always feel better when we have taught a lesson where we created something ourselves. Yeah? That's important. Okay, 2 more tough questions. Do the same. Go. Is there a connection between the two? Go. But you practice the good experience. On the final exam of the ELT. Yeah, I like that question. Yeah. Okay. Is there a connection between these two? There is. We have an old teacher saying, I don't know, most teachers teach the way they were taught. Most students learn the way their teacher is teaching them. Very true. Very true. So when we complain that our students are not learning, is that because they're just lazy, or maybe they haven't been taught in the most effective way at primary and high school? That's what it is. That's where the big issue comes from. Yeah? I mentioned the whole idea of instructional models before. These ones are important. Remember we said the PPP? Yeah? Now again, I mentioned this because it's often done for pre-service teachers. a lot of pre-service teachers, because you get a little bit nervous about your first job, you focus on the things that you know, and this is the one that's tried and tested. The secret, the truth is, this doesn't work. Wallahi billahi, it doesn't work. If your teachers are here and they told you it worked, I'm sorry teachers, yeah? But in practice, it doesn't work. Because when you get into a real job, what happens is we end up presenting, practice, presenting, practice, presenting, practice, and we forget production. That's why students can't write, that's why students can't speak, that's why students can't use good grammar and good vocabulary, because we're rushing. Yeah? The secret is in the variety. Yeah? There is no such thing as a perfect instructional technique. There are just different ones. TTT is just as good. Test your students, find out where they are, teach them, test them again. That's a good technique. ESA is very useful, especially for younger students who are using the internet a lot. Yeah? The same way. OHE is another one. Let them observe. Just like we said, we draw out the grammar rules. Let them observe. Let them make the rules. Let them experiment. Yeah? Observe, hypothesize, and peer teach. This is the most powerful one. As soon as you tell your students to teach somebody else, it becomes much more powerful. Now, there's no coincidence that there's 5 of those. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The variety is what's important. Students don't get as bored, they stay motivated, they stay engaged, and you don't suffer from burnout because you're trying to do the same thing. Really easy strategy, not that difficult. All right, homework. I'm going to give you some homework. Have you judged it up? Take out your pens and paper. You're going to write this down. All right. The same 2 things. I'm going to give you 2 questions here. Now, this is very different to my other question. This question here is, how do you see grammar? How do you view grammar? What philosophy do you have about grammar? Teachers get worried when we talk about philosophy, but it's so important. Yeah? The second one, how do your students see grammar? Yeah? I'd like you to answer those 2 questions, but I'm going to ask you to watch a little video for me. This is your homework task, okay? In the video, you'll see grammar as 7 different things, okay? You'll see grammar as rules and structure. You'll see grammar as mathematics and algorithms. You'll see grammar as texture, collocation, and an emerging phenomenon. It's the end of the day. These are the 7 philosophies that most teachers work with. What I want you to do is choose your real philosophy and choose the philosophy you want to have after you watch this video. And the video is this one. This is Scott Thornbury, one of the best language teachers around. Yeah? He's smart, he's intelligent, he's very funny, he is not as handsome as me. But he's a good trainer. Yeah? Here, you'll find this one on YouTube. YouTube is back, yes? What are you doing? This guy's back. Come on, watch it now! Before it gets switched off again. Alright, this one here, 7 ways of looking at grammar. That's your homework. I want you to watch that video, I want you to think about it, and I want you to think, how did you see grammar? That's all. If you want to send me an email after doing that, please do. I will answer every email that you send me. Especially if you send 1 lira with PayPal. Yeah? I'll do it. Seriously, if you want to write, no problem. Yeah? That's the homework. Can you do that for me? Yes, Tony? Yes. We will watch a YouTube video. Yes. And then we will go on Twitter. Because we can! Alright, there you go. That's my address. Yeah, just to remind you, if you want to send it to me, do have a look at that one. Yeah, tonygurr@gmail.com. Alright. And I'm going to finish with this one. Uncle Ken Amja, so true. Most kids are unhappy in school, not because of what they're learning, but because of what we are taking away from them. As teachers, it's not only what's new and what's different that's important, yeah? It's what matters. And what matters is the kids. That's what matters. Have a beautiful weekend. Now, there are 5 books here. First 5 people, come and get them. Go!